This is Commissioner Hastings. I think it's time to call the meeting to order. At 8:14.
7:14.
I think. Pardon me.
7:14.
7. 7, not 8. 7. So I believe the Pearl. Are you going to do this election, or Jeff? Because Walter's not here.
I can do it. It's a call for nominations, and we call for nominations 3 times. So is anybody going to nominate someone for chair?
Oh, I'm willing to stand for chair again.
Great.
Myself.
Great.
This is Mr. Hastings.
All nominate. Richard here. Just a point of order. Should we do have Pearl do
a count?
Roll call for starters, so we get registered who's here and who isn't.
That's a good idea.
Sure.
Could you do a roll call then, Pearl?
Yes. Director Popoff? Director Ferguson? Commissioner Allen?
Here.
Commissioner McRae?
Here.
Commissioner Hastings?
Here.
Commissioner Law?
Here and present.
Commissioner Coolin?
Present.
Director Casely? Director Lund? Commissioner Ratmeyer? Commissioner Schwartz? And Commissioner Kipke?
Here.
And Jeff Phillips?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pearl.
And Pearl, there, it's Carrie Gaynor. I just got on here. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Oh, thanks, Carrie.
Yep.
Do we have any members of the public here tonight? So, as I said, I'm willing to stand again for the chair, but do we need to go through the election procedures?
Only if someone else is going to be willing to stand or be nominated.
Okay. Well, come on at me out there then.
Do we repeat, Richard here? Yeah, I would like to nominate Hank Hastings as chair.
I accept.
Commissioner Law seconds that motion. That motion, please.
Okay,
If it
thank
needs a
you.
second. Thanks.
Is there anyone else that wants to nominate anyone? Okay, then it's been ratified that the appointed Commissioner Hastings is the chair of the Rosebery Parklands and Trails Commission for 2024. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone who didn't vote for me. So I will call.
Thank you, Hank, for taking on.
Okay, now do I have to call the meeting to order at 7:17 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have 2 minutes. It says on the agenda here that you have 2 minutes to make a speech to us if you like.
My goodness. Well, I don't feel very speechy. I'm glad to be a part of this commission and the trail, which we all use a whole lot, and it's still a very valuable asset to our community, as we know. And so, thank you very much. So, I'll start out acknowledging the traditional lands. We acknowledge and respect the indigenous peoples within whose traditional lands we are meeting today. And now the adoption of the agenda. Everyone looked at the agenda. Mike, do I see your business on there, Mike?
Yes, you do.
Okay. it part of new business? Is that it? I don't know. Where is it?
Item 6.1, I think.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I move we adopt the agenda then.
Has everyone
I'll
seen the
second.
agenda? Will someone move that we do adopt it?
Yeah, Richard here. I move we adopt it.
Michael in seconds.
Do I hear any negation to that effect? Okay, it's resolved that the agenda is adopted. Carried. The minutes of November the 2nd are also in your possession, and you've seen those. Has anybody got anything to say about those minutes? If not, I'll call for someone to move that we adopt the agenda. Or that we, wait a minute, yeah.
Yeah,
No, we've already done that. I'm sorry, that we adopt it. We receive the minutes.
that's right.
Okay.
There's no need for a motion for that, is my understanding. It's just we acknowledge that they've been received.
Okay. Minutes have been received. Are there any delegates? There are no delegates scheduled for this meeting, as it says. So we have Jeff Phillips with us, Regional Park Operations Supervisor.
Yeah, Hank.
And it's time for a staff report.
Yeah, thanks, Hank, and thanks again for stepping forward to be our chair again. It's greatly appreciated. Well, thanks to all the commissioners for being part of this for sure. But it's great, Hank, that you're willing to step forward again. So I guess most of the updates that I have are kind of around the project, so around the cable car and the slip repair. So on the cable car, we took the doors off. The doors got all twisted up. I'm not sure exactly what happened. We sort of speculate that it was in the cable car was improperly used sometime last year. Our theory is that someone left the doors wide open, swinging open, and sent the cable car down the cable, and it hit one of the unload stations at probably some great velocity and speed to bend the pin and cause all sorts of twisting and things like that to the door. And anyway, so we took the doors off there when we winterized the car, and we brought them over to the welder. We made some modifications to things that we hope will just make that whole system a little more robust, make the door a little more a lot more rigid for the people using it, and also we're sort of anticipating people aren't using it properly, so we've added a little bit of metal in certain spots and a little tube, and just sort of really beefed up the mechanism so that whole latch system is a little more foolproof. So yeah, we hope that people will use it properly. It's a difficult thing to get right, because you just never know how people could use it. I think they just sort of lose their minds sometimes. And anyway, so I'm happy with the changes we made there. And then I know we've discussed at this forum quite a lot the location of the pulleys. I know McCrae has brought that up numerous times, and we've now moved those pulleys back as far as they could go. We did that last year just as we winterized, but we also have to. Unfortunately, the rope was about 15 feet short, the rope that we had. So yeah, through the winter there, I got enough rope to replace it. So those pulleys are as far away from the trail users as they possibly can be now. So on the back side of the A-frames, with the U's facing even further away. So so we'll have a new rope and new mechanism for the latch for the door. So we're obviously not saying that's it, that's done. We're done with this. Every year we'll continue to make these changes as we see how things unfold and how it's used. So, but that's just sort of the tweaks we made this winter. And just on Monday we closed the tender for the aluminum bridge that will be flown in to repair one of the sloughs there, that not too far from the cable car. That was all part of that. If you remember way back, the CRIP grant. This is all through that CRIP grant. So yeah, we're happy with how that tender went. We're still in, evaluating. We haven't awarded that contract just yet, but it's within budget, and we think that the lowest seems very, very confident, and this is something that they do and they're experts at. So that was nice to see that the prices came back in the within our budget, and we already have secured so we get the bridge fabricated, but we have a contract with our installer all ready to go too. So really nothing's going to stop us this year for getting that project wrapped up. And really, it is the last year for us to do anything on that CRIP grant. It had a fairly long window to get things done, and we waited right till the end, as we've all discussed here. We wanted to wait out as much freshets as possible. So this grant allowed us to sort of delay the bridge portion, or sorry, the slough repair portion to the very, very end. So we can't wait any longer. So that bridge will be on site on May 24th or sooner, and then it'll be flown in from the YRB yard, as we've done in the past, and brought into site, and all of the footings and the trail work and stuff like that will happen before and after, just to tweak it. So we'll have a little bit of a closure, around that time, around the end of May for the trail, just for safety and things like that. So I'm sure we'll be discussing that further, but that will be the end of that CRIP portion. The last expenses. This is the last year that we can expense any major things. So that'll be something in the past. And I guess the DFA funding, DFA, remember we had the freshet in 2020. I guess this is just for your information. We finally got the money for that after all these years. The province has finally reimbursed us for that money. So that's nice to have that sort of wrapped up. Other than that, I know Kerry has some updates that he'd like to, an update that he'd like to bring to us. But I think that, I guess just on the budget, I haven't at this point. So the budget that was put forward for 2024 for Galena, the Parklands, and Bigelow, as we've all seen, and members of the commission helped, us put it together and present it. I'm not aware of any items being denied, or from my understanding is everything we've asked is still going forward. It's not the budget isn't passed through the board yet, but I'm not aware of anything being sort of reduced. So fingers crossed that remains, and we can get projects like the Bigelow Outhouse finally done, and the trail work that we have to do at Bigelow to follow up with that, and all those other items that we had that we presented. So that's I think that's the update for me for where we're at for 2024 with budget, and sort of the tasks that we got done through the winter here. So I don't know if anyone has any questions for me, I guess, before Kerry has an update.
Commissioner Law here, just a quick question. Thank you so much for the report. Just to confirm, the aluminum bridge for the slough, that's on the which side of the crossing? The east or west? Sorry.
It's on the east, so going towards Three Forks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's four sloughs altogether.
Yeah.
So coming from Three Forks heading to the cable car, the first two are rather minor. In fact, the second one, we can and it's part of the plan to just divert the trail further into the mountainside. So really with that one won't even, hopefully for many years be a point of discussion. And this bridge would would cover the third one where we have a wooden temporary structure on the third and fourth one. This aluminum will replace the third, and we intend on taking the wood that's on site there, the decking and things like that, and bringing that forward to the cable car to fix a slough that happened on the cable car approach there on the New Denver side. So that's kind of the sequence of events that we have for our resources there.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Right.
Any more
Thanks, Jeff,
questions
there.
for Jeff? Sorry, any more questions for Jeff? Jeff, did you say Kerry was here, or he would?
Yeah, through the chair, I'm here. Thank you very much. I was about 10 minutes late.
Oh.
But my apologies for that. I had another meeting I was getting out of. Yeah, and sort of nice to hear everyone's voice. It's been a while. And yeah, as Jeff mentioned, it's good. We've just got the procurement and that for those bridges. So I think Jeff did mention, but they're 60-foot bridges. So we did work with the geotech, SNT Engineering. They've been back to the site, I guess, 3 or 4 times now. We have an assessment on, kind of where the stable ground was that we could be able to put these on. And so they, they are 60 feet long, and it's similar to the one at Crawford Creek, which we're putting in, which is 60 feet. So I think we were able to get an economy of scale when we got those. So at this point, there's still some small details and things we're thinking about in terms of, something trying to make sure non-slip and, or at least as non-slip as possible for these sort of things. And that, but no, we're quite confident that it's the contractor that we got to do the work is the same that did the cable car. So knows the area, knows, just knows the ins and outs of that stuff, and has done a fair number of these things in the past for BC Park. So quite confident that it'll turn out well. So yeah, really, what I wanted to talk about today is just I let everyone know that and we did sort of pass this by Ministry of Forest to make sure it was something that I was able to discuss with this commission, just as a high level information, is that the Ministry of Forest has been in contact with us just about Idaho Peaks and how they are looking for new options for Idaho Peak. So one of the options was to create a bridge, an access bridge crossing Carpenter Creek, and that would be similar to the access of the Galena Trail. They had, at the time when we were looking at, they showed us about 8 different options that they had. And, they had them surveyed with risks and, sort of what is harder, what is more expensive, what has more timber, et cetera, et cetera. So very high level, and it's still in its, infancy in terms of the project actually happening. But I think that they're just going through that, and then they're going to go up for some public consultation and look at doing this in the next couple of years to get an access road back up to Idaho Creek. So we did talk about that a little bit and say, well, what are the implications, of having something like that, if it were to cross Carpenter Creek. Again, there were other options that kind of went further down into Sandin to cross. There were some limitations down that area on slope stability and things like that. So nothing's confirmed, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that there is talk going on right now about fixing the road up to Idaho Peaks and how that might happen. We did sort of suggest that if something was to go across Carpenter Creek, then we would, look at them providing a trailhead for us and a parking and things like that if it were going to do that. So again, that sort of stuff will likely come to some sort of public consultation. But I just did want to mention that because you may start hearing rumors, or maybe already heard rumors, or maybe you guys might, or some of you might already know that. But again, I just thought I would bring that to the attention of the commission. So, does anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah, Mike Coolin here, Carrie. When you say cross Carpenter Creek, do you mean Carpenter Creek at Three Forks or some other location?
Oh, I mean, they
Right.
had different location options. That was one option, was basically where the aluminum crossing, the bridge crossings
Okay.
are now at Three Forks. So they would use that, go across, create a road, and then they had 2 or 3 options after they crossed Carpenter Creek from there, where they would go, where they would head straight back down along the creek or sort of up the mountain a little bit. And a lot of them hooked up to some of the old roads that accessed up, but they were trying to sort of get around the sloughs that had been created, you know, on the road in the first place, and you know, trying to limit the amount of sort of overburden that they would have to create by doing some of those roads. You know, I did mention that you know, something, if it did cross, in my opinion, and went back the other way, so it didn't have too much of an impact on the, you know, on the trail going in, then you know, that might be better than going up and then doing a bunch of switchbacks, which may or may not take out a lot of trees and that sort of stuff. And I did mention to him that, you know, we do, you know, our engineers have said that there's, you know, issues that, you know, are above you know, our trail that create a lot of the situations that we have now with some of the sloughs. So I said anything that would sort of go up and you know, create you know, a water course that's different than it currently is, or you know, potential for slides or anything else, then you know, that would not be a preferred option for us at all.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, any other comments about that proposed road?
So
Yeah,
you
Richard.
said, go ahead, Richard.
Yeah. Hi, Carrie. Yeah. So, Carrie, it sounds like it's going to be then a bridge and then a new road constructed to hook up to the existing road above the slough. Is that the plan?
Again, through the chair there, again, there were 8 different options that were provided, and they all did something a little bit different. They had different aspects, but eventually, I mean, I know that they were trying to avoid certain areas that they know there's slope stability issues, which caused some of the slough in the first place. But some of them hook up to different parts of the road at different spots. I mean, it's hard to describe because there were so many different options there. But you know, the really for me is just letting you guys know that there were 3 of those options that did cross Carpenter Creek at Three Forks. One again that I remember went right back along the creek towards the old road. And then, you know, another one kind of continued along almost where the Galena Trail is now for, I want to say it was 400 meters, and then started switchbacking up. And then there was another one that had a couple, you know, it kind of went up, but then it switched back, and then it switched back again, then went back to the old road. So again, there were lots of different options that they had in there. And again, I know that they'll likely present some of those, you know, when they do go to public consultation. So.
Right. Thank you.
Well, that would certainly have implications for the trail. This is Chair Hastings here. Now, Elba for Sandon. I mean, Sandon town depends on the people coming up there to go to Idaho, you know, for tourist traffic. And besides, building a road up there seems ridiculous when they could fix up the slough. It's a slough that just that nasty they can't repair it. It just seems odd to me. Anyway, I hope they walk the ground pretty good before they make decisions.
Yeah, through the chair, again, they seemed like they were fairly well thought out options, and they all had reasons, and they all had positives and negatives, you know, pros and cons to each one of them. And I think that's what they just wanted to kind of, you know, show us, saying, hey, look, you know, these, you know, we just want your opinion on, you know, and how that might affect the trail. And, you know, we did give them a fair number of reasons how it might affect the trail. And, we certainly had discussions of, possibilities of enhancement, to a certain spot if they were to do that, right? So, I mean, it is technically their land in the sense too, like even the Galena Trail is a license of occupation, for with the ministry. So, ultimately we certainly have some sway or, some influence on that, both as a commission, as a regional district. And I think that's why, honestly, to me, I was very pleased that they came to us at this stage, rather than coming to us much later on and saying, "Oh, well, this is what we're going to do," which has happened in the past. And we did make it really clear that I thought that it was very important that there was public consultation, and and they agreed as well. So it was really just as a license holder and as a government agency, they just wanted to kind of come to us first, which I thought was a very good courtesy because that isn't always the way that it goes.
Mike Coolin here, Carrie. Any ETA on public consultation?
They said they wanted to get all their engineering and everything else kind of completely done. So he said could be 4 months, could be 8 months. He said, but the project, they would like to finish the project. I think by end of 2025, or could be, into 2026, depending on snow levels and what they can do, etc. So I think they kind of gave themselves a 2-year timeline.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Barry? Okay, well, I guess we have to wait to see what happens there. Is there any new business? Mike, did you want to bring up your issue of, is it time to bring up the issue of the race you wanted to hold?
Yes, please. That would be great. We've been approached by an organization called Trans Rockies, and they want to do what's a race series called Single Track 6, which will include Caswell, Nelson, Castlegar, Nakusp, and New Denver, where they will have 200 to 300 racers on a course in our area. And so I just want to they want to use part of the Galena Trail for that, so I thought I would bring that up for discussion. The section they want to use is from the Highway 6 crossing to Rosebery Parklands in both directions. And that race will take place on July the 15th of this year. So, Carrie, I think I forwarded your email to them. I don't know if you've heard anything from them regarding permitting or permission.
I got through the chair. I've not heard anything yet, but that would mean, I've had a couple things come in actually in the Nelson area, so it might be something similar, but part of the overall race. But I don't remember seeing anything as such. And I could look into the parks email because sometimes they send stuff into our parks email. But yeah, so yeah, I'm happy to receive that as usual. That stuff generally goes through a park use permit, and we would request information on that, and do you have water stops, do you have safety, what are your crossings, those sort of things, because it does cross the highway. So sometimes stuff like that we would ask for a plan, like what is your plan, because it's a highway. So normally that's getting into touch with MOTI to kind of make sure that's okay with something crossing a highway. And whether or not they, try to have some sort of, flagging or what that may be. That's all.
Okay.
Jeff, I don't know if you have any more comments on that.
Okay, I'll send them a reminder. Sorry, excuse me. I'll send them a reminder email to contact RDCK Parks.
Yeah, does anyone else have any comment about this alleged raise?
This is Greg McCrae. I was just wondering, they're going to cross Highway 6. So don't they also have to cross the highway to Castle also? How do they, I can't quite figure out.
They come from Centennial Park in New Denver. They're going to go up the highway to where they can
Okay.
access the Galena Trail next to the highway and drop down to Rosebery Parklands. From Rosebery Parklands, they'll cross the highway again and go up West Wilson Forest Service Road.
So they're going to ride up the highway through those S turns.
Just on Highway 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty. I won't even ride that highway as one person.
I don't blame you.
300 people? Jesus.
Could be up to 300, yeah.
My God. That's
Early,
anyway, that's between highways and them, I guess, not us.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it sounds like they're going to have to talk to the highway department, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, there's not much we can do with that. Just let them percolate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that, Mike. They got a hold of you, I guess, through the Trails Society. Or
yes, that's right. They were looking for a sponsor, a local society to help them out, and so we're busy with that.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any more new business? Anything's come up? I will have a little bit of new business, and I've been talking with Kay Schweitzer about the grant that they've got, I guess, to do the fire work on the trail and the Parklands as well. And I talked to her about the Parklands and versus the actual trail right of way. And it sounds like she was just planning to stay with the trail right of way through the Parklands. And I assume that staff that Carrie, you would be notified about, or maybe what their plan is as far as fire smarting. Or is what I'm asking is that is the regional district fire smarting plan going to jive with what she's doing?
All right. Thank you. Through the chair. That is around Rosebery Shores, right?
He wants to do all of Rosebery.
Yeah.
All of the even above the highway up Wilson Creek there. Those properties. Okay. Whoever wants to have it done. Of course, you can't do on private property.
So Chris Marsh, who's he does some fire environmental work, and he contacted me a little while ago, and I actually know Chris from years in the ministry, a long time ago. And so he reached out because he owns a property there, and I guess the community had got together and wanted to do some fire smarting. At this point, I just said that I won't be able to meet to look at that. I raised some concerns right away of some things, and that's that, we've done fuel prescriptions in some of our parks before, and we have some experience with that now. And sometimes it is a little bit of a difference between fire smart prescription and parkland, and sometimes the way you want to do it versus sometimes the way that sometimes they might want to do something. And I'll just give an example of wildlife trees, things like that. Forester would go in and look at that and say that's a danger tree. Automatically it's a danger tree, so we got to take it down. Where we'd look and say, no, I'm sorry, that's not a danger tree, that's a wildlife tree. There's no target, it's not going to hit anybody, and we look at those things a little bit differently. So Nora our ex-fire chief is now doing some of that work. And so Nora and I actually just got in touch yesterday. So we hadn't got much farther than that, but we hope to go up there and meet sometime in early April. I did mention that before, because again, most of it seemed like they were looking to do the area, around the Rosebery shores, but they were talking a little bit along the trail. So obviously my concerns with previous owner, or just previous, potential of taking too much down at different places and things like that. I thought it was prudent that we be involved from the very beginning and authorize any work that is done on RDCK property or leased land. That's all.
Good. Well, that makes me feel better. Anyway, anybody else have comments about that? Okay, we'll just let that go then.
Yeah, through the chair, I can give an update once we, whether by email or, if it's not before our next meeting that it's done, then I'll certainly give an update on what happens in April when I have an opportunity to meet.
Right. Well, yeah, my concern, of course, is just the wild state that the last little bit of Rosebery Parklands is in, and it being unique along the lake shore, that there aren't very many just wild little creek deltas left, and it's a haven for wildlife and of all sorts. So thank you for that, Carrie.
Agreed.
So is there any public here today? Has anyone come in since we've started? Any questions from the public? All right. So I guess that's about all. We've got the meetings that are listed here for the rest of the year. I'll just read this. To promote openness, transparency, and provide accessibility to the public, we will be required to provide the ability to attend the RDCK meetings in person or remote. Meeting spaces must be accessible to the public. Commission discussed the 2024 meeting schedule and selected proposed dates and times as well, suggest a possible solution. Locations. If a suitable location cannot be determined, staff will assist in finding a location. So that's a motion, is it?
Through the chair, Commissioner Law here.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, I'm just looking at the agenda for this evening, and I don't see the section that you're talking about. I see that in the minutes, but maybe I'm missing something. I'm not sure about that.
Hope I've got the right page here.
I think we're not off. Just want to confirm that with Pearl. Does that sound correct to you?
This is point number 9 on my agenda. Hope I've got the right one. Yeah.
Yes, that was included on in the last meeting, the proposed dates for meetings for the year.
Good Lord. Okay. I suppose I've got the wrong. I printed off maybe the wrong agenda. So the next meeting I see is scheduled for May 29th. I hope we can all make that meeting. Do I hear a movement to adjourn?
Yeah, Commissioner Law, motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second?
Greg McCrae, I'll second it.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks for chairing the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Hank. I just want to let you know you may have printed off the minutes that were attached to the agenda addendum, and that's why that was right in front of you there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
My mistake. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So anything else before we close?
I do have a question.
Okay.
Mike Coolin here. We show that Colin Ferguson is still a representative of Silverton. Would that be correct?
I can look into that and find out for you. I'm not I don't know for sure, but I'll email you to let you know if his term has expired. Unless you
Well,
know,
he's no longer mayor. He's no longer mayor of, is he still mayor
Oh.
of Silverton? Casey, would you know?
I don't know what his effective date was for leaving office. However, I am fairly certain Leah Main, commissioner, I think she's acting as, she'll be, if not a director, she'll be appointed to this commission. So she's just away right now
Okay.
at FCM. So yeah, but I believe
Okay,
that's the
thank you.
replacement. Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Casey.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
All
And
right, well,
Excuse me, yeah, Richard here. I have a question also, if I may, before we adjourn. And it just has to do with the commission meetings from the minutes from the last meeting. Yeah, Pearl, do you have any idea where that's at? I know there was going to be some investigation, I thought, by the
oh, I see.
RDCK staff about using the Knox Hall for our meetings. And I'm not aware kind of where things are at with that. But just going back to an in-person meeting, I guess what they call a hybrid meeting, where there'd be in-person and remote access.
yes, we're going to look into that still. I'm not sure what the status of that is right now, but I can definitely remind my supervisor, pardon me, or ask her if it's possible for us to do that going forward.
Right.
Through the
Okay.
chair, I might be able to answer that a little bit. I do know it's Carrie here, just because we do have Joe and Jen in our office, and we talk about this a lot. We're starting bit by bit in different areas, trying to find locations where they have internet access, they have all the capabilities of essentially having, you know, computer hookups, Wi-Fi's, all of that would allow for hybrid meetings, because we did say that it wouldn't be just in person, but it would be hybrid. So I know they're going through lots, because there are many commissions, and you know, whether it's a water commission or whether it's a parks commission or whether it's a recreation commission, whatever it may be. So I know they're going through piece by piece, and New Denver is one that they hope to be looking at soon, because there are rec commissions and things like that as well that, you know, may have something similar. So they're looking at options all around the regional district. So hopefully it's coming soon.
Right. Great. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
So it must be time to adjourn. We've moved and seconded. So I'll call this meeting adjourned at 7:55. And I thank you all for coming this evening, or being there this evening.
Thank you.
likewise. Thank you all.
Have a
Yeah,
good
good
evening,
night.
everyone.
Good night.
Thanks,
Take care.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.